Hello everyone and welcome back to the Quake Open League EU Elite stream. We are at the end of Season 6 with one big match remaining. It is going to be Cooler versus K1LLSEN, a repeat of last week's PGL semi-final where Cooler managed to come out on top at that point. Bringing you the action is myself, Zoot, and my trusty comrade, Ketchup. What's up, man?
Hey dude, thanks for bringing me back, as always. It's actually always nice to come back and do these. It's always a good time. Very chill environment, everyone has a good time. Hopefully you guys at home have been enjoying the action so far. We've definitely had an interesting day. There's been a real sort of selection of unique frags, I think is the word I'll use. But ultimately it has all boiled down to what should be a phenomenal grand finals. K1LLSEN, Cooler, legendary players, not just in Quake Champions, but loads of other games as well. And it's almost fitting they should go head-to-head again so soon after PGL.
Yeah, completely. Man, I mean, just to go on what you said about the crazy fact, I was just looking at the clips that's already gone to Reddit of what K1LLSEN did to Cypher on Awoken. That made my month. That was just wild. But we are jumping in to our champion picks. We can see maps that we're getting as well. I think we'll move over to the best of 5. Death Knight's been banned out from K1LLSEN. Nyx has been banned out from Cooler. I think fair enough. Cooler's been so good of DK. Why not get rid of it? So obviously we don't see it there. We see Galena's, Rangers, and BJ as we step into Corrupted Keep.
For me, it almost feels like two very player-specific bans right there. Take the Death Knight away from Cooler and take the Nyx away from K1LLSEN. K1LLSEN has been really making magic things happen with Nyx for as long as Duel has been a thing in Quake Champions. You know, like it was the original mode. K1LLSEN has been right in there since the beginning, along with, you know, Cooler does a thing or two about Nyx as well, but I really feel like it's K1LLSEN that has, I think, pioneered this champion across this part of the world.
Yeah, I mean, he was so good at the start. I think there's a lot of players that have come back and made also incredibly impressive performances on it, but sometimes it warrants a respect ban. That means the rest of the champions, obviously, on the cards. We've got some shops coming out. We've got some dual wheel. Galena being a bit more present. People still very happy to play her, but now probably starting to feel that, hey, I'm a little bit more vulnerable. I've got a thicker hitbox, and that LG's going to be burning a little bit more. But catch up, here we are. The grand final is beginning. K1LLSEN on Cooler, map 1. Corrupted Keep, and we are on K1LLSEN off the start, and he is going straight over to Rockets, preemptive orb, and he hasn't got the orb for the fight, but he's doing loads of damage. Let that go, because Cooler, he's still hitting them shots.
Oh my god! Look out, K1LLSEN!
Wow.
I cannot believe that Cooler both did that first frag in the manner of which he did, and then it was pretty much exactly what we saw previously, just face first, flying straight into a spawn that he had a great prediction on, and just the execution in that first round. This could be a less than a 1 minute round. He tries to get out there, but yeah, interesting.
Okay. All right. It's simmered down a little bit. He's going to find him again. That LG's going to
no, it hasn't.
Right.
That's a huge lie, Zoot. That's a lie.
That was close.
It has not simmered down at all. Not even a minute, and we're
no simmering.
We almost
frags
saw
in a minute.
That's the thing. We almost saw an entire round go by on its final champion taken out in less than a minute. I don't think I would have ever seen that before.
This is rapid. This is what we got at PGL between the two of them. They were so up in each other's face. It was totally unrelenting, and it's unexpected because I say K1LLSEN's a very dynamic player. He can play fast. He can definitely play slow as well. Cooler's built up a reputation through all of Quake Champions being even more so and more methodical than he ever was in previous iterations of Quake. So the fact that we're getting this just like mad gun show between them it's wild.
Oh, that rocket, so close to being a just galactic brain direct.
I will not grant you that privilege.
There's now the totems with the extra healing. This is going to help out a lot. And one finally falls. But here's a push coming with the lightning gun. That is an exceptional rocket though from Cooler to just send him back a little.
And there it is, Cooler. He's been able to stop the bleeding a little bit. Now with that heavy, naturally benefit him quite a lot. But I'm looking at the setup for k1LLSEN. k1LLSEN kind of really has full control over the center of this room, and I don't even think it's going to matter. The absolute ambush with the dual try bolt, and he just k1LLSEN hoping that that Mega was going to appear just a second earlier, I think.
I mean, you shouldn't stand on your item for over 5 seconds. Who does that in this day and age? If you've also got a totem that you can put down that you can get guaranteed plus 50, which he was obviously saving for like a later moment. I can see the value in doing that. But you literally have your pants around your ankles and someone walked through the door and just took full advantage. That was horrific. That was horrific for all viewing parties.
Wow, suit the savage. But it's a new round, it's a new day. Here comes that LG 1v1. Cooler not looking too healthy, but the totem might undo the damage a little bit. If Cooler presses this, he's a madman. Oh, wow. So nearly raid, my word. But here we go. Small health bubbles first. We should get the Mega now just to both contribute towards total stack, and the passive totem now has been dropped a little bit more free. 30 seconds until we see a new one. But k1LLSEN has absolutely made some magic things happen with the range yesterday. He's had some insane performances. I'm wondering which one of these, if there is going to be like a star champion for k1LLSEN so far.
I wonder if he's going to actually be able to bring it back. He's going to find that totem over there. Delete that one quickly. Big items are respawning now. That'll be the heavy for Cooler. k1LLSEN, shortly after taking the Mega, basically still synchronized these items.
Oh,
Cooler's LG!
Good God!
Wow. That's the bye-bye right there. That is get off the map. I mean, Cooler, what the hell's he hitting right now? He's actually hitting less than 40. There's been a bit of spam from him, and his k1LLSEN is hitting high LG, but that fight looked like just 100%.
It was just a complete ambush. Like the second k1LLSEN got caught in a situation he was not prepared for, it's just utterly guaranteed damage. But then the second he started to move, it allowed Cooler to start showing how good his tracking was as well. Like a real sort of combination of the two. k1LLSEN, does he do it? He does do it! Risky plays. Ooh. He's trying to escape.
A lot of spam coming out from Cooler as well. Goes with the LG, pushes back down to the bottom. Wants that health, and the shotgun going up. Had the dual wield out. The Mega has spawned 2, but he wants to get himself some extra armor. Wow, okay, there's the die roll. There's another shotgun blast. He can't quite get onto the health in time. And that refrag is going to enable Cooler to go 2-0 up now.
Prepare to fight.
It's all going to be coming down to what the start on this next round is going to be. And even with Death Knight removed, you can see that, Cooler is still a super big powerhouse on this map. It's just, Death Knight was just that most dangerous champion as of recently. But as this game progresses and we start to see more and more champions enter the fray, that doesn't mean that players are going to forget how to play previously strong champions as well.
Guarding over LG. He's like, yeah, buddy, I know you're there. Your time's up. I know what you're doing right now. This Cooler's just been demonstrating actually how good he's Cooler's just been demonstrating how incredibly strong he is at this map. I know we're in best of 5 territory, but this is a good way to kind of cement a map 1. If indeed he can.
I think in
doesn't want to go past the whole way.
k1LLSEN going in for the big plays with that die roll back. That could have been super punishing if Cooler was sort of just sitting there waiting. But if it's a dominant 3-0, that is, I think, in many ways, one of the absolute greatest ways to start your grand finals in a 3 out of 5. Because it means that one map is, you kind of blink and it's gone. And then just like that, one person has significantly more work to do. That was insane. How he even got that angle.
Well, that's what was funny about PGL is that, okay, Cooler's just been pushed around completely. He's going to check the teleporter exit. But this LG, he's got some battle scars to attend to on this side. And there's still pressure, and he's like, man, can you get off my back for a second? He is going to get triple totems. So all of a sudden, he's also got a Mega, as well as k1LLSEN. Orbs come through. Well, definitely saw that, so be warned, k1LLSEN. He knows what's up.
We're looking at you're looking at the potentials for when a fight breaks out here, because if Cooler gets the totems, he's going to have that sort of block just for a short time. But he only has an LG. He's not got a rocket. And that might be really important. As the combination of Ranger, Rocket, and Dire Orb is something that most characters really can't survive. Cooler's going to have to put a lot of faith in this LG. Oh, no! Oh, that's so unfortunate that he got stuck on the terrain like that.
That was an immense amount of lightning gun from K1LLSEN. I think, did K1LLSEN actually go for the heavy? I think he did, yeah. But he was so quick getting that angle. It's like he had that Dire Orb ready for it. That was very good play from K1LLSEN. Gonna frag up. He's got his Dire Orb back. He hits a half-decent rocket. Cooler kind of starved for resources, but Cooler, that is the timing on the heavy. That is how you can reward yourself with picture-perfect timing of the items. And you know what? It wrote itself even better because he saw K1LLSEN going for the orb. He's like, right, he's going to try and escape with that orb and take the heavy. That means I could be 100% precise with my Dire Orb and get that heavy myself.
It's just Cooler's. It's his sort of, his entire demeanor as a player is just confidence. It really is just brave plays, even in the face of what could be a really ugly fight. He doesn't stray away from, you know, standing and waiting for a teleporter, or even like kind of going back to his dodging ability where he has more confidence than anyone else to just stand still in a fight expecting them to flick. And of course they flick. In these crazy back and forths, it feels like Cooler it is impossible to fluster him.
Yeah. He's just got a Zen-like focus. He's ready for all situations.
I will not grant you
Even the most chaotic. K1LLSEN finding himself a good amount of health. Cooler charging in a little bit. I can see that the cooldown's gone on his dual wield, yet I didn't see two guns equipped by this character.
I've been checking out K1LLSEN. I don't think K1LLSEN really saw much of it. So either way, we might see a change in 20 seconds. If not, we'll just forget we ever saw anything.
Yeah, quite.
It's 1 minute morning, of course, irrelevant now. It's one champion each.
Sneaky. Oh, doesn't get anything for it though. I like the move from K1LLSEN, but he will have a big stack nonetheless. I don't think he'll be happy. Not to go up versus full dual wield LG, but definitely to get his head to get himself stuck in.
Oh, there's the money shot right there. That rocket. Oh, good God. That was a scary fight to take, but it's just really good for K1LLSEN that his rockets are as incredible as they are, that every single one did 180 here and there. It was, I think the lowest damage he got there was 75. 75 of those 3 rockets was the weakest rocket.
Oh, it was perfect, Robin. And we are going to see a little bit of life from K1LLSEN in the first map of the grand final. It's going to rendezvous with the Galena straight up. Doesn't get the best rocket, one that he would have wanted the most. So we'll have to reconvene at a later date.
Check out some Cooler and see. I know that for now, K1LLSEN, it kind of goes into that classic sort of like tug of war between who holds the Mega Rim, giving up the heavy at the cost of keeping Mega and LG. It's so important on this map to make sure that you have LG over the opponent.
Can hear that waddling around by the hourglasses. 2 totems up there. K1LLSEN and cargo to the teleporter, remember that. Orb's now being used. Alright, if you go through that teleporter, K1LLSEN, I'm calling the doctors because you just can't. You've got to be able to do that. I hope he found some way to get rid of it because he needs that overstack.
It's very difficult. I think actually Cooler is playing this really well. Because he now has a combination of Mega and the triple stack totems to give him essentially an unofficial Mega as well. I feel like if he gives up the heavy, it doesn't really mean so much if he's got essentially 2 Mega healths and denying LG still. But with no set advantage yet, Cooler really needs to, I think, get that first frag to make holding this room more worthwhile. And there it is. Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, Cooler could make a play for heavy because that's the one item that he doesn't have yet. But he's getting so much value from not giving up lightning gun, keeping that spot on the map. Triple totems, it just seems ridiculous. And K1LLSEN's like, can I see any of those? I know there's something over there, but I can't quite get my eyes on it. And destroy them from a distance.
But now, as long as the totem is ready, you'll notice Cooler did not step a foot out to get a rocket angle until he had that totem ready to go. So just in case it went south, he could just top himself up with the totem and undo all that hard work. Okay, so one totem's gone down. Doesn't mean a huge amount because that was always going to be the expendable totem. In 10 seconds, Cooler can give himself the restack again. But even though he holds control of this room, fundamentally, without a champion lead, it's not going to be as crucial. Okay, now Cooler. He's lost his 2 totems, but I wonder if that was deliberate. I wonder if he's trying to now swap, get the heavy while keeping his massive stack.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Okay.
I think that was the whole point of the play. You leave that room, you've got to benefit in another way of some sort, and that is like getting a way bigger stack. The Mega hasn't been taken, kills him with a little bit of an off time, and through that 2.5 minutes of play, Kilsen's benefited hugely. Now the Diarob's gone down, and he just wants to chase this one. Rockets! Oh my god! And the totem as well! That was phenomenal from Kilsen, but he just had no room at all, and the totem was just stuck between him and any escape.
That was a lot of work for what was eventually back to square one.
Oh, the money shot with the shotgun. God damn. That was brutal. And it's just the Galena left for Kelsen after all that work. He couldn't make it work for himself. I think he might want to press in. He knows that there's the weaker stack. There is a totem down, which he's going to have to watch out for. He's found him. Does he want to hold into it? LG, there's the orb. It's going to be the full shove. And that is 3-1. Cooler takes map 1 of the final.
Now that does mean that, to be honest, with how things were going on those first 2 rounds, it was safe to assume that we were going to see a lot more of an extreme dominant side, because that was really kind of looking like Cooler's map from start to finish. But I'm interested to see what happens if we start to go for a slight change of pace, because that final round I found really interesting. This entire strategy of pretty much set up shop entirely in LG. And then the one time Kilsen felt like he was able to run in and deal with the totems and try and take Mega, it almost felt like the only time Kilsen went in was because Cooler allowed him to go in. And then he went in and stole away the heavy. The Mega, unfortunately, was mistimed. But if Kilsen can't go anywhere near the LG room, it's much harder for him to know that he can actually get timing on Mega, because he doesn't know when it's been picked up because he can't hear it. It was just such a huge amount of setup. It was so impressive for me.
But that's the same thing. Kilsen knew probably more about Mega, I think, than Cooler knew about the heavy, yet Cooler was still, based on Kilsen's movement, determining exactly when the heavy was going to be up anyway. So it was brilliant mind play from, well, just presence of mind, should I say, from Cooler to be able to make that play after 2.5 minutes and go for it. It was just some wonderful frags on the replays there. Loving the introduction of replays here in the Quake Open League. But we do have Blood Run coming up next. This is going to be the second map, and picks are starting pretty much now. Let's do this.
Now, to be honest with you, Blood Run really intrigues me because Kilsen has really had such a wonderful record with Blood Run historically in Quake Champions. But as we all know, the CIS players, this is their playground. This is where they were born and bred. So whether I favor Kilsen, I would always say I favor Kilsen on Quake Champions Blood Run, because every time he plays on this map, he just looks untouchable. Interesting to see if Cooler can finally make him, almost get that next step up and make Kilsen not look as dominant on a map that is definitely one of his strongest, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. And despite this being a CIS favored map, this is Kilsen's pick. He does love this map. He's incredibly strong at it. I expect a much closer game here, though, than Corrupted Keep. Not necessarily Kilsen taking this out the way that Cooler took out his map pick in the 3-1. But we'll find out. We've got 2 visors on, we got 2 Galenas, and we got 2 ranges. I'll still put my money, though, on Kilsen to draw us out. I reckon we could be in for a real stormer of a best of 5, but it's almost famous last words at this point, isn't it?
I actually feel like the players almost entirely use this warm-up as a means to practice their dire orbs. I feel like this is the meta for it. Ranger as popular as he is, there it is, the quick respawn. I wonder who's going to get more
dire orbs right back up. Just go straight in for it. Just do it. Well, Guys, we have got map number 2 starting. Cooler, K1LLSEN. Who is going to be able to get the advantage next? Will K1LLSEN be able to tie things up, or Cooler put himself on match point? We are floating with K1LLSEN right now, who's going to hit rails straight away.
I mean, I'd say give K1LLSEN a piercing sight and pray. That is what happens. This guy's already insane, but Cooler somehow just a rocket to the face, max damage. No messing around.
Oh, K1LLSEN missed a full shotgun blast. I don't think it would have killed him at all. Okay, he's coming right back in. Cooler looks for the opportunistic air rocket. Wouldn't have got much at the end of the day, but now K1LLSEN, he can cycle over light armor. Heavy's going to be up in a moment. He's going to meet the Galena immediately. Rockets. It's an easy frag at the end of the day. And there's going to be this continued control for him.
K1LLSEN, a little bit of free damage was taken against him there. And Cooler has used his piercing sight as well, so he only had limited information really. And there's going to be enough. 1 rocket, 2, and K1LLSEN's Ranger. Today has been such a powerhouse, and not surprised to see it give a performance like that. I think a few more of those and he'll be in the money.
Yeah, K1LLSEN was like, nope, you can't deflect off me. He killed the visor at the end, didn't he? So there was no burst there. I'm confused. Anyway, K1LLSEN looking great in the first round. Almost gets that direct off. That looks phenomenally close.
Trying to determine whether that was trash talk or not. It seemed like it to me.
I think so. Maybe?
Or maybe he was talking about... I don't know. I'm not even going to pretend I know what he was talking about there.
Just, you know what? Just go with the XD. With the safest play.
I would reply to the XD. You know, once I saw Cooler XD, and it blew my mind. I didn't think Cooler was... whatever. Anyway, moving on.
He can do anything. We know he can do anything.
He can.
Well, K1LLSEN there is on tribal part of the map. He's got the lowest stack right now, but has a nice position. But opts to edge away, take some of the smaller resources, and now he's the one who can take a health. Oh, that's perfect tribal. Times of orbs. It's trying to do something creative, damaging. Again, right off the exit. Tribal there just to clear the way. Little jump up. Players are getting it right now. We're not seeing that jump messed up at all today.
A little bit of practice time, innit? That's all they need. And K1LLSEN's rails have been insane so far. And it just goes back into talking about why this map is so scary if you're against K1LLSEN. It just feels like he reaches at an entirely other level whenever we go on Blood Run. That range of rocket was really, really well placed from Cooler, actually throwing off K1LLSEN's aim, so unable to get anything in return. Hasn't done much to stop his control, though. He really has held control over both these items pretty much the entire time, and this is the dominance we were expecting to see, I think, Z.
Yeah, definitely. But Cooler, if we can get some good damage in, he's definitely able to come back a little bit. Cooler knows that he's still floating around up there. There's an orb, but he's doing this preemptive orb. That's like the 2nd or 3rd time just this map alone that he's got that timing a bit wrong with it. Heavy, though, is up next. Should know that Cooler's there. Oh, the rocket's good. It almost sends him back up the bounce pad, and that would surely have been Cooler's first life over. Shotgun. Walk through. Go on. Go on. Come on, Cooler.
He's confident he's going to do it eventually. He's confident.
If he goes through and shoves him, I'm going to laugh way too hard. Oh, duped. On the rail, he might even get the kill! Another vertical shot from Cooler! Get punked, K1LLSEN!
That felt like it was all K1LLSEN's advantage, and then you just kind of snap your fingers and it was swapped. What on earth? Cooler finding a way, and K1LLSEN going in for the armor, a bit too eager. Cooler easily sitting that one as well.
What K1LLSEN did is he got a silver platter and he just put his life on it, his soul, and he said, here, take me. It's yours. I will just feed you this frag, this advantage, for essentially nothing.
Just gave Cooler a knife and fork.
Yeah. Go to town, mate. Oh my god!
Shot from K1LLSEN. Oh no!
That was a shot from K1LLSEN. The rocket was so good too. Did you miss the jump?
He did. He missed the tribal jump.
Oh.
Spoke too soon, Zoot. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But again, Cooler can... I mean, it's gone very, very quiet because Cooler has no reason to overextend now. And that one defensive rocket he fires and it's on the money. 1 minute warning with 2 frags left to go. This is Cooler we're talking about, one of the slowest players in the business. Difficult task for k1LLSEN right now. We'll see if he can do it. Ah, misses the rocket, unfortunately. Catches the map. That's not a good look. 10 seconds already gone.
I mean, this is the spot on the map, really. You use that as a basis for a lot of decision-making in a defensive play like this when you've got a 2-champion advantage. If he just needs to survive 20 more seconds or so, and he's looking good. That was a brilliant rocket, though. Goes into the dire orb. LG from k1LLSEN. He's actually got a chance to take him down. This round might not be over. He's also got a triple champion stack, and his weapons aren't too bad either. It is the visor to go versus. And that is piercing sight now gone. There's the jump. He's hitting a little bit of splash, a little more. Chasing all the way down. There's a totem beside it, but there it is. With 10 seconds to go, he's tied it up. And he's still got all of these totems up. Ammunition has been reinstated for the rockets. k1LLSEN's looking good.
That was his final rocket. That was his final rocket too. The one that evened things out. Very, very important. Now sudden death. Advantage. Definitely k1LLSEN's favor. There's more stack. LG is good for Cooler.
Wow.
Doesn't look like good enough though. Here comes the LG and it's enough. The totem shuts it down. 2-0 in the blink of an eye there.
What a comeback. What a comeback. 30 seconds left in the round. He makes a 2-frag comeback, breaks it, and just destroys him through that teleporter. That was absolutely exemplary from the German. And now k1LLSEN, he's like, right, I can take this map right back. This is mine. Heavy is quickly stolen by Cooler. It's a tiny bit of damage, but this mega health. k1LLSEN knows he's got a good advantage, and he's only going to use his dire orb to get the rocket so that he has all weapons to work with. But if he closes the gap right now, it could look pretty good.
He's being very brave. He was being super brave with his rocket jumps actually, and I actually liked it was entirely about positioning. Just try and get that sort of ace on Cooler, find out where he was. Would have got a ridiculously good rocket too, but oh my god, the swap to rail! Brave stuff.
That LG from Cooler was unreal though. He's hitting 49% at the moment. And he's going to find him off the exit. He was going to go for the pummel, but no, Cooler, that's not how you do it. Misjudgment of stack, hoping that maybe it could have got better. If he had a starting shotgun, you know what, I would highly approve of that play. That would be a sick play with it. That's not what he did.
k1LLSEN's definitely on the verge of evening things up and making it 1-1 here in the grand finals. This was his map choice. And considering it's Blood Run and k1LLSEN combined, this isn't going to surprise anyone that he takes this map. This is an insane round so far.
There's just missed jumps from both the players getting to heavy. Eventually, k1LLSEN wins that. It looks painful. I figure that there's possibly a totem on the exit over there. Don't wipe it yet. Good tri-bolt. He might chase one rail around the corner. Oh, he can't hit it. There's safety. He's going to take damage though, mega, and he eats 75. Not worth it, I would say. Not how Cooler's challenging on health and armor. Here comes a heavy, but these rockets are decent. Heavy spawns in the nick of time. Does he want to drop and just go even? What was that? Oh, there's a rocket jump up from Cooler. There's a surprise. Then he breaks out, getting the light armor over in the rocket room.
What I love about watching Cooler play, and it's actually the same for k1LLSEN, these sort of like really seasoned players, is they play incredibly by the book, and then there are these really, almost seems like a random breakout moment where they just do something incredibly unpredictable just to go against the grain for one frag, and it almost always catches people off guard. That Cooler rocket jump was just one of many occasions where that one good decision can lead to a kill. I should be dead!
What?
Oh, yes! Yes, and yes.
What?
That was sick.
What the hell? The money rocket on the teleporter exit. That is just a godlike prediction. I have no idea what. And then the follow-up with that rail.
Oh,
God damn. That was dirty. That was really, really dirty.
That's just going to be k1LLSEN on Blood Run at the end of the day. That's why it was his map pick. I can't say I'm surprised that he won that. I was thinking maybe Cooler can somewhat break the tradition, you know, especially for what we've had today, but wasn't meant to be. That just Kilson and this map is just two peas in a pod. So we're just going to move on to the next map now. Forget about it, and see if future maps have what it takes to maybe make this potentially a 3-1 in Cooler, maybe a 3-2. Hard to call who's going to win the entire series after a map like that.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. We're going to get Ruins next, but I'm really excited that as map 4, which we're definitely getting now, it's going to be Blood Covenant. I can't wait to like pass the game on that, where the big change in the hourglasses have come into place. Those 2 hourglasses on bridge and then the stairs leading, the other 2 the stairs leading to bridge are gone. So 40% of the hourglasses on the map have suddenly been removed. And then possibly we get to a Molten Falls where 2 of the old 9 hourglasses have also been removed, the 2 in the central part of the map. So very, very excited for it. But Ruins, it's kept its 10. It did change in normal public team deathmatch. I think it's got like 17 in that, and they've mimicked it so it's the same in duel as it is in all of the other modes. Or it's the same in all the other modes as it is in duel, should I say. Maybe a bit more business as usual on Ruins, but it's going to be interesting to see who takes the advantage leading into map 4.
I know Cooler has just requested just like a minute break, so we're gonna have like a little bit of time while we wait. It's not going to be a huge amount, but yeah, I feel like we saw a nice contrast of 2 maps that they're both comfortable on. It was somewhat dominant on Corrupted Keep for Cooler, and it was ridiculously dominant on Blood Run for Kilson. So as we sort of start to close the gap a little bit and start to go on, I guess we'll say a few more universal maps between the 2 players. What are we expecting to see do? On Ruins of Sarnath, for example, which player would you say you favor higher?
Cooler picked it. I think at this stage in the maps, I honestly feel like touch and go either way. I don't think there's like a major favorite. Obviously, Nyx and Death Knight not going to be a factor now. I expect that we're going to be seeing... I'm not sure. Galena's definitely a big possibility, but I suspect Visor's going to be around. Ranger, BJ, Galena, like 3 of those 4, maybe all 4 of them will be picked, depending like between the 2 players. Let's get into the champion.
Well, here comes Visor. I'd be inclined to think you're right, to be fair, from what we've seen all day. So we see Visor both ways. It makes total sense to do it on Ruins of Sarnath. The piercing sight on this map is really, really important. And yeah, Ranger, Galena, Visor. We can see Visor, Ranger. Are we going to see a Galena from Kilson as well? It's quite like picking Galena. And there it is.
Ah, it's close enough.
So it's a complete mirror, pretty much, which we just discussed the possibility of it being sort of touch and go either way. The second we go with an identical champion lineup, increases the chance of that. I would definitely go as far as saying Ranger has just sort of gone from strength to strength in this game, hasn't he? As a champion, as each patch goes in, he just maintains his danger levels. That orb is no joke, but it's especially when you take 2 players like Kilson and Cooler that aren't afraid to be bold with it, but only when the time comes. That they don't waste the orb. They use it when they're positive they can get a big turn in their favor. It's really scary to watch as a spectator.
Yeah. I feel like these guys are very much on comfort picks as well for them. These are the champions that they would practice most of the time. A lot of the champions they would have practiced leading up towards PGL. So in terms of developing any wildcard picks, if there was one, it was Death Knight and Nyx, and they're out of the equation at the moment given the bans. So this just makes perfect sense for me. As for what we could see moving in later parts of the October patch, that will have to be the test, because we've seen some Strongs, we've seen some Dooms today, and things like that. But ignoring that, we are now here on map 3. Whoever wins this is on match point in the grand finals. The Quake Open Season 6 EU Elite. And Kilson, he's the big man up first.
Immediate trap was sprung. Just big damage for the nail gun, not enough though. That was a very scary exchange. Cooler very nearly coming off worse than that, just due to some insanely strong nails from Kilson. Nice rocket as well, just to keep him temporarily back. Cooler with the first blood though. That's a good look for him, coming off a very dominant loss on the blood run.
Yeah, he doesn't quite want to be providing the same smug look for Kilson here on Ruins of Sarnath. He does take the mega health. Could do with a little bit more armor, but it's okay. He can afford to play patiently right now. So he shall. Does he hear the steps over there? I think he has a clue, yeah. He's just listening, getting all those sounds in order, and making those decisions based on that. Heavy's going to be up next. If he hears steps on the upper parts, he might drop for Heavy. He's not doing it. I'm very surprised by that. He's incredibly happy up here. He didn't hear the Heavy armor picked up either. So Kilsen's had that one for free. It's a mysterious first minute and a half of this map because it's not been proactive leading up to one another. To be honest, Cooler's also had his foot off the gas pedal when it comes to laying down those totems as well. Being very, very passive. Mega health is now up, and now Cooler's taking a very early stop for the Heavy. And Kilsen is just going to be like, right, well, I took Heavy, I know when it's up, so I'm going to push you away from it. It feels like Cooler's just played himself off of the map.
It's one of those funny instances where even though Cooler has the champion lead, it doesn't necessarily feel like he's in the lead as such. And mostly comes down to the fact that Kilsen's stack is so impressive at the moment, especially he's now alternating between Mega and Heavy. As he takes each Mega, it's a big risk, and Cooler, very, very smart decision to try and sit there and get some airborne LG, but it's not going to be enough to finish, unfortunately. Kilsen still in a great position, but as that rail fails to connect and the totem's behind, things just got evened out just a little bit. It did a really good job of Cooler, even if he didn't get the kill there, he was able to just take down all the hard work that Kilsen had done to build his stack up, and now he's back at square one.
Yeah, Cooler with the rail out in that last fight. Maybe if he had another one, he could have hung around the fight a bit longer. But LG, the orb's not going to get anywhere, and Cooler's defensive lightning gun is absolutely serves its purpose. Totem down in the back alleys of the map.
How's the interesting thing about that frag to me was that it was the exact same play, just done back to back, expecting Kilsen to alternate for a Mega down towards Heavy, did the exact same thing again, and fell victim to the same play, only this time he was actually punished with a frag, not necessarily just losing his stack.
Kilsen has to find a way to be proactive with this Galena. Nicely done from him, but the double stacks. There's something I like about Cooler's Galena. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to stack my totems somewhere, because if they find them, it eliminates a lot of them. There's a risk you have got to bear in mind. Excuse me for saying that, Ketchup. Don't want to be sensitive.
Hey, we don't use those forbidden words around here.
But when he is putting those double totems down, if they do happen to fall in a trap, it's A, hilarious, and B, incredibly effective. And he can just heal up so much.
It's A, hilarious. B, effective.
I mean,
the hilariousness of it was more
your priority.
I love it.
You gotta get the fun points in, right? Unfortunately for him, he's kind of baited Kilsen right into it. It's like he was trying to. He showed him a totem and was like, "All right, kill that one," and then chased me like really excitedly. But Kilsen, he obviously watched or looked before he went across the road, saw them, destroyed them. So it was a fun idea from Cooler. He's still got 30 seconds where Kilsen has got a super hard time getting back into this one. I don't think Cooler's going to throw this one like he did in Blood Run.
And even that rail, he did damage to Cooler, but he pushed him down towards the stairs, which is actually kind of somewhere that Kilsen did on. And now, yeah, he's trying to find him. Can't do it. That's a guaranteed game over. Round one's going to be Cooler's. Calm and calculated, the way we know.
Prepare to fight.
Wow. That seemed for easy.
3,
Piece of pie, piece of cake. Cake,
1.
cake pie based
Round 2.
phrases is fine.
Pizza
Cooler
pie.
locks it down. Yeah, pizza pie. All of them. Pizza is a form of pie. Sorry, Wenger. And I think Cooler's going to be looking for another good start to this one. I like the fact that Kilsen's gone with Galena first, because it's harder to chase and make those comebacks with Galena. Cooler had a really just inherent advantage before. Oh, there's a rail. If Cooler lands it, that's a frag for him.
Almost massively paid for that peek, actually. Kilsen tried to peek around that corner, and The rail just narrowly missing him. There's length really, but that preemptive rail shot is now actually going to give k1LLSEN a little bit of data. He knows that Cooler's kind of out there now, which is why he's sitting tight. But now he's going to change his objective, try and go down towards heavy. Find out if k1LLSEN's going to drop down here instead. And this is an interesting exchange right here, Zoo. I feel like it's this kind of like slow-paced gameplay is something that we could definitely grow to expect of these two players on Ruins. And now as the heavies going to spawn, kills...
Yes, sorry, this is kind of what I was expecting between them to begin with. We had like two very ferocious maps, and now something a little bit larger, we're getting this kind of pace. LG, k1LLSEN looking like he wants to commit to that, but he kind of gets stuck in an angle which can easily be vulnerable to rockets. Now whoever can clutch it wins. And that was the money rocket with only 6 health that he had left. Like the Galena versus Galena is always an interesting battle of resources. You know, where are you putting your totems? Where are you gaining those advantages from? And then you really get into those nitty-gritty fights where you have got to clutch out better LG, better rails, better rockets, whatever it happens to be.
And now k1LLSEN wasted no time off his spawn, grabbed the Mega, immediately went down and got the Heavy as well. And even though he's been sitting on a stack, again, as long as k1LLSEN is wasting that time, the armor that he's been able to grant us his overstack, that's just going to naturally start to tick away and go down to nothing. So I think this is one of those many reasons that even though k1LLSEN technically has more armor, it doesn't really mean much if he's not able to use it in a fight. Other than that, it's just going to tick away. Okay, misses one rocket, very important. He was able to land that one. For the jump pad, big damage too. Oh, watch out!
k1LLSEN looking for a clutch rail at the moment. Can't quite find anything, but that would have really have equaled up the stacks nicely. Rocket on the exit, still no damage. He's found a 25 health bubble and he's just going to disappear into the depths of the map to find the heavy armor that spawns. And he's like, please don't aggress me. I got no health at all. A rail would kill me. But he gets away. Overstacks armor. And he's going to have to find another approach. I do like how proactive k1LLSEN was on that occasion to just close the gap all but from the heavy last time and fight over at Mega. We've got the two totems very close to each other here. I wonder if they can get the healing through the walls. You might be able to, actually.
I'm actually surprised
really intelligent
that
totem spots.
While k1LLSEN was pretty much on about 20 HP and nothing else, k1LLSEN was a lot more focused on trying to sort of play that defensive game rather than chasing it down. But I'm kind of wondering if k1LLSEN was aware of just how weak k1LLSEN was, maybe he actually would have taken the opportunity to get a kill. Because k1LLSEN was incredibly weak during that exchange. Not that it's making a huge difference, because as long as k1LLSEN is setting up shop here, I mean, k1LLSEN doesn't want to destroy these totems. It took him a long time to take one down because he wouldn't give his position away! Destroyed.
That was so sick, actually. He orbs back in and he just immediately eats a facial rocket. And the trap was wonderful. That's what this is, like normal k1LLSEN at the moment. He's changed gears so hard. He's gone from 6 to reverse, basically. It's a good rocket from k1LLSEN.
Oh,
He
no.
ends up killing himself. Round 2 goes to k1LLSEN as well.
Well done! k1LLSEN in the chat with the BM. I like it.
XD.
3,
XD.
1. Round 3. Fight.
Well, catch up.
Well.
We've got possibly one more round here in the third map. I wasn't expecting it's going like as crazy back and forth in this series. If k1LLSEN gets to 3-0, and they're like, man, fair enough. I didn't realize there was such a like natural advantage in each of their picks.
It's quite funny how you mentioned previously in the round at the end. It is this gear change from k1LLSEN, isn't it? It's the fact that k1LLSEN can go from this massively slow gameplay, which is what we expect, and then before you even realize that he's changed his style, he's like a Rottweiler, you know, and he can really sort of secure those instant kills. And they're back-to-back too, because at the end of the day, he chooses to play this slow style, but he has the mechanical knowledge of when he should do certain things. He just chooses to play slow, but he can flip it if need be. And that really is the scariest type of player to face.
Well, that's exactly it. That's what I think separates players right at the top to players who are just coming up. Those players at the top, they know how to change gears properly. They know how to set the pace of the game themselves. Whereas those other players, they find it harder to be as dynamic. They're usually typically aggressive or typically defensive. And if they are changing the pace themselves, it's really kind of through the reins of what that more experienced guy is forcing them to do. Here, Aldry. Cool, it's so low, but to be fair, so is k1LLSEN.
There's quite a few small health bubbles nearby, but... And there it is, k1LLSEN as he's retreating gets the knowledge. Here's the Mega get picked up, which is going to be really good for him. As now I think he can start to actually figure out how he's going to try and survive here. Oh, hello. Sees Cooler drop down. Oh, what a shot.
Just found him. k1LLSEN's still got to be a little bit careful. Cooler's not afraid to fight with that stack. Well, there's the heavy. k1LLSEN re-energized. Breakaway. Is he going to have a crack at this mega health? He's going to use his orb for it. He could be a little bit vulnerable because Cooler's got his ability out and ready. But it's just that almost double stack. Oh, he can't find the rail. It happened again, Ketchup. The easiest shots are the hardest.
Especially when it's, you know, a split-second decision. Teleports to his dire orb, but doesn't do much damage, so Cooler's going to fall again. 2 champs back to back. And k1LLSEN looking in a great position. He's got plenty of ammo, he's got plenty of stack. We'll see about the piercing sight. Piercing sight has just been used and has run out, so Cooler's not going to have that for a fair old while.
I wonder if k1LLSEN's going to now try to play Cooler his own game. Go slow, go sensible. It's not the case. He hits a rocket after that rail, and Cooler's like, yeah, come on, just eat it.
Kill me.
Cooler's just like,
well, if you won't do it, I will.
Prepare to fight.
One of us has to do what must be done around here.
Round begins in
Can I?
3, 2,
Okay.
1.
Oh, no.
Fight.
k1LLSEN. Sorry, Cooler didn't reply to that on this occasion. That was all k1LLSEN.
No more games.
Cooler's not going to find that funny though. He's going to come back in this hard. How does he go through the teleporter and dodge the majority of the damage and end up essentially winning that fight? It just isn't fair sometimes.
Cooler, find a way. Okay, another audio cue for k1LLSEN. Ooh. Now going in for the big boy telefrag, but even if it doesn't land, the amount of damage he's done is surreal. Totem's going to block a little bit. Actually, the totem blocking was almost enough, but the pillar giving k1LLSEN the cover he was looking for. I don't blame Cooler for staying in that fight either. He dodged so many of those rockets. It's just, on top of the totem blocking the damage, k1LLSEN's knowledge of just, at the end of the day, it was, I dodged you, you dodged me.
That was scary close though. And I really love what k1LLSEN did just then. He stayed at the top of the bounce pad. He knew that the heavy wasn't up straight away, and he wanted to listen out. Okay, what is Cooler going for? I can either hear him at heavy or hear him at mega, so I know what this is like to make after. That was perfect from k1LLSEN. And he so nearly shuts down Cooler in that fight. Unfortunately for him, he's not able to continue that level of perfection. But it's definitely, you guys can take notes from k1LLSEN's book.
Oh!
That's phenomenal. You can't really take notes from those rails because that is just sick.
It's these kind of rails that it's just the level of confidence k1LLSEN has in his own aim. Those close range rails that if they miss, they are suicide. You are dead for free because during the downtime, Cooler's just going to turn on you and pull that 180 and you're dead. But at this level of play, to know I'm against Cooler of all players, and if I miss this rail, he's going to kill me. And just the confidence. When will this man miss?
God. What the hell? We're moving over to the tiebreaker round here. This, yeah.
You know, if
Cooler was
k1LLSEN wins,
devastating.
He's gonna talk. By the way, just 100%. He is gonna talk trash if he wins this round. I guarantee
well
it.
Played.
He's gonna say well done.
Just well done. That would be great. He might have already, you know, sunk the knife in pretty deep. So that's what I'm worried about. Oh, there's a direct from kills and the rail from the teleporter. Holy crap!
Don't make this man
still looking
angry.
for a bit more damage. He's got to know where he's going. That he wants that light armor. He sees that it's down. So that is a raging clue right there that he's been in that direction.
spamming on there.
Beautiful.
Ooh. God, K1LLSEN, his accuracy has just been 0 to 100 completely.
Oh!
Yeah, maybe that
Okay,
close
all
range would have
misses.
been too much to ask for. Oh my God! What is going on? It's just, these rounds have just been rapid.
I mean, it's a big change of pace from before. Cooler, he actually has brilliant presence of mind to know then exactly what K1LLSEN wants. You can blame K1LLSEN a little bit for going for that angle. He should have headed off, got himself some health to begin with. Or the rocket from K1LLSEN. Then with the machine gun, it's immense damage from the German. But Cooler's going to be able to continue picking up items. However, K1LLSEN knows now he doesn't have such a big mountain to climb in the final stage of this map.
Now we have gone back to a relatively even right here. The only thing that's not even, I think, is the fact that K1LLSEN not going to get his piercing sight for another 20 seconds, which is cool. This is locked and loaded, which I do believe he has actually used it to get the all-important data of which now he knows. Now with G-Room, that's where I'm going to take my next fight. K1LLSEN pushed to the teleporter, but Cooler with the immediate chase. Using that negative situation just to get the heavy armor. I respect it. And now he's really chunkily stacked, and he has a railgun too, so Cooler can start playing that distance-based game, that sort of chip him down bit by bit if he wants to.
I feel like K1LLSEN's got to get some damage now off his piercing sight. He just finished using it. He gets the rail, but it's exchanged. That had to be a free rail. Look at this. Oh! Okay, never mind. Rocket misses completely, and Cooler's looking good now. He's got the piercing sight. He might be able to aggress just right off of this. He's going up the bounce pad. He's got him locked into the side. Lightning gun. K1LLSEN puts down the totem, but he's just stuck into that position. Cooler is going to win it 3-2. We go over to map 4 with Cooler on match point. There's no trash talk now,
I think
Ketchup.
There is not. Cooler, no words, which almost makes you feel like, is no words the biggest form of trash talk after that exchange, where he's just silently, you know that deep down Cooler is silently judging him after that. He's saying, yeah, it may have been close, but it was still upon my own request. When I decide to win, I will win.
That's what I like. I wonder if there's going to be GGs right at the end of the season. I'm sure there will be, but at this stage, it's like map by map. It's like, yeah, we'll call it when the whole thing is done. But let's just stay quiet. Let's stay in our own heads. Not getting each other's too much. We are going to get Blood Covenant next, but here, some of the replays that we had of some of the crazy frags that we were getting. Oh, some mad stuff happening. And that's the bit that kill there, which...
That was the well done into XD.
Ooh. Combo.
I can watch these kind of frags all day. I feel like you're almost guaranteed. And how did he even hit that shot? Like K1LLSEN,
yeah,
those 2 rounds that he was basically essentially sweeping kill after kill after kill. It's hard to, we have to always remember that the only reason that was such a crazy comeback was because Cooler had put him so far down in the first place. You know, and then in the last closing moments of that final round, it wasn't, you know, it's one thing to start being steamrolled in a comeback, but you have so many opportunities to essentially nip it in the bud and just put the fire out, right? Which is exactly what Cooler did at the end. But we're going into Blood Covenant. I know you specifically said you're really excited to see what happens on this map because of the changes to the hourglasses. Yes. Especially when you know, Visor, very, very popular on this map. Now Visor piercing sight takes a lot longer to come back.
Yep, completely. Let's see, we're going to get Doom played by K1LLSEN. That's what he played versus Cypher over on Blood Covenant. What is Cooler going to go with? He's been enjoying going, but he's going to go with BJ. Okay. Let's just get ourselves a tiebreaker map, right? I think we deserve that. Like, as a team, as a community, we're owed this for some reason.
It's never a fitting end to the season. It's never a fitting end to the season unless we get a close exchange, right? No one ever wants to see a grand final stomp, not after a month of work. So either way, we have had some really, really sick games so far. But if it's going to be 3-1 to Cooler, then so be it. If it's going to be closer than that, maybe even K1LLSEN's favor later down the line, we'll soon see. We're loading into Blood Covenant right now. I want to give you guys at home some predictions, right? I want to see, if you want to see Cooler take this win, give us a 1 in chat. If you want K1LLSEN, give us a 2. That's what we want.
Who do you think's going to win there? Do you think... There's a little gap there.
I'll always favor Cooler on Blood Covenant, personally.
Really?
I think this is good. I feel like these kind of really old school maps are really good for a player like Cooler.
Round 1.
It's really quite even in chat as well, actually, in terms of favorites. And I genuinely think the matchup here, it could end up being as emotional as Ruins of Sarnath that we just had, but it's begun. This is match point for Cooler. If he takes down this map, he is the Season 6 champion. But k1LLSEN, he's on our screens. He's gonna take control of the wheel. Does get railed. Rockets. Ooh, actually does manage to hit something. Orbit. It's gonna go through with it. There's nail gun, and he just gets, I think, owned is the technical term.
Owned? My word, that's a word I have not heard in a long time. That's an old school word.
Sorry. Pwned. NLG something or other.
Pwned.
Is that better? Am I speaking your language?
You gotta replace the O with a P and then we're in the money.
Well, let's move swiftly
k1LLSEN.
on to
k1LLSEN's doing that thing again.
He's gonna try the trap. That's the cypher trap that he had on it. Hello.
Oh, no, again! Oh, he missed the second rocket.
Oh, it's gonna get reversed possibly. Cooler managed to hit some brilliant shots afterwards. k1LLSEN was going for that like air rocket or just like on the lip of the jump pad. Wow, nice rails, Cooler. Even with piercing sight. One more. Oh.
Cooler is just on fire right now, man. He really is. There are certain rounds where a player looks like no one in the world can beat them, and I feel like right now, in this round, it looks like Cooler is the best player. Just outright. There are some insane plays he's made right now.
You're calling it early.
Hey, man.
Oh, what?
I'm a master of popping off too early. Also, a lot, I think. I don't know. I can see.
Look at that was 60, about 60 damage. I think it was 58 in the end. That was a long-range rocket from uptown. I don't know.
Oh God. Oh dear.
Cooler?
k1LLSEN.
Don't drop
double.
out.
Going in for berserk. Oh, watch out. Oh God. k1LLSEN used his berserk to try and escape, but he opted to try and stay there. I think he was maybe hoping that. Oh no, the Cooler XD'd. We both XD'd.
Round begins in 3.
Dude, Cooler went off on one in this round. I don't know what happened right there. He was possessed. He looked unbelievable. Oh, we're going to get some cheesing. Oh, no. I thought he was going to commit to it, but k1LLSEN backed out in the last second. He went up for the rockets. I think he rocket jumped over for rail, and now a late pickup of the heavy. I think Cooler's worked out of this in his mind brain.
k1LLSEN. In for his machine gun just for a little bit of damage, but it just feels like again Cooler has just been in the driver's seat for this map. And he's finally been able to take the rail. Unfortunately for k1LLSEN, wasn't able to really punish Cooler for taking a rail either.
k1LLSEN's proactive with this.
Yeah, excellent.
That's nice for him. But look at that, like Cooler doesn't give a damn. He's just hitting rails anyway. Like, oh, the map's getting in the way. Almost stringing together another nice shot. k1LLSEN ensuring that time has passed. His piercing sight's being used. There is a downtime between the abilities. Let's find out. Wow. An insta push onto the light armor, but he does not overcommit to it.
I think the impressive thing about Cooler is how he essentially was doing a rail fight against a piercing sight, and it appeared that he might have had it himself when he obviously didn't, because he was just landing some insane shots without needing that wall hack available. But right now, another one of those fights is coming through, but Cooler dangerously low on rockets. This is his problem right now, and oh God, the duck. Yeah, nearly. You know, k1LLSEN nearly took that too.
That was a nice night. I was hoping that k1LLSEN was just going to spam it or something. But piercing sight uses. He's just being wary. He's like, don't chase me down. Stacks are technically the same right now, but here comes a mega health and heavy. k1LLSEN, what are you going to let me have, mate? What's mine? What's yours? Fake rocket jump. That piercing sight's just gone up. There's going to be the LG, but these defensive shots are still really, really solid from Cooler. And it's now forced k1LLSEN away. He can't get anything from it. And Cooler might even walk away with a bigger stack than him. There's light armor there. Oh, narrowly missing. Not narrowly missing then. That was perfect.
But he's low on ammunition, Cooler. 1 rocket and 2 rails. That's nowhere near enough. Especially seeing as they both are maintaining their stacks quite significantly. And Cooler now only 1 more rail. He has now got a few more rockets, which is really, really important. But again, the defensive rockets from k1LLSEN undoing the damage for another time. And it's one of the shots in the game that is, you know, some people say, like, how do you practice aim and what's the best way to sort of, like, what are the most important shots to learn? Is it rails? Is it long range rails? Is it flick rails? Defensive rockets, man, they're right there at the top of the list of things you got to get used to doing because you can just see the difference they're making.
I guess an item. Oh my god, k1LLSEN's still there to punish. Because of how synchronized the items are at the moment, k1LLSEN doesn't want to make sure that doesn't want an item to be given for free and allow Cooler to have any kind of overstack whatsoever. So he left both of them up for so long just to make sure damage was going to be dealt on them. So smart stuff from k1LLSEN. Now he actually gets a proper advantage, and now he knows the order of the items. He's like set himself up for great success over the next minute.
And that's right, setting up for the big kill, setting up for that one important frag as we now go less than 1.5 minutes left on the clock for round number 2. If k1LLSEN can pretty much spend this entire game working towards getting 1 kill and being as equipped as possible for it, that's how he's going to take his win here in the round. Approaching that 1-minute warning now. Doesn't take long. You know, you'd always think these matches, they seem pretty slow and calculated, but a minute can pass before you know it, and just like that, 30 seconds already gone. And now things are going to get a little bit critical. Cooler maintains out of control. Very important rail. Super important rail to land.
That was just a really nice angle. Just predicting it past that pillar. That was really nice from Cooler. There's all those hourglasses. Cooler definitely winning the race. Getting his ability back on loop, but it's been a very... I don't know, point. It's all been about the items. It's a lot of attrition here. And Cooler will get 1 more hourglass. And k1LLSEN, I think he'll use his ability immediately. Yep, it's on. Goes down for an angle. There's 1 rail.
There's no way Cooler was going to use that teleporter when he knows piercing sight is available. I really like the fact that he's just been sort of sticking to the regular map. And it's definitely going to be 1 champion down. It's going to decide who wins this round. Vice and mirror match. Let's go. Ooh, what an angle there with the rail. Very, very cheeky shot there. And another one. Back to back 2. Needs more where that came from, though. Actually, he's going to need even more than 1.
I think Cooler's going to win this now. He's going to push in. Never mind. It's so simple at the end of the day. It's those 2 rails that built up to that whole situation, and then it's just piercing sight. All right, that last rail is just going to be the easiest shot of my life. And k1LLSEN, he just tried to turtle that game until he could get a super favorable position. We saw some highly intelligent plays to put him into strong control, but there was nothing that he had at the end of it that could just sink in that round, lock down a kill, and get himself to tie up the round. And now he's finding himself with this back against the wall. You've got to make a play now. And Cooler's just landing rails. He's landing so many shots on Blood Covenant.
Now, I must say, I'm a big fan of how Cooler has now opted to start with BJ as well. We haven't really seen anything at all from BJ this entire map. And now he's on tournament point. Oh god, k1LLSEN dropped down looking right when he should have looked left. And no, that was spawn! That was not an amazing spawn at all. Fortunately, Cooler can't really chase the jump pad. It's a big risk. But like I was saying, going BJ first and having this dual wield means that now if he wants to start things off and immediately fight, he has such a high chance of just rushing k1LLSEN, overwhelming k1LLSEN, deleting k1LLSEN. He's got dual wield. Like, he hasn't had that before. And when the tournament stress is on, best time to do it.
Just because people have been asking in chat about Cooler's accuracy, it's 62% at the moment. I think it just went down to 60% actually after that miss. And he's done almost 1,300 damage with it. So his rails have been phenomenal in this map. I say as he's been missing.
Oh, nice shot again though. And now the dual wield is locked, loaded and ready to go. k1LLSEN's going to try and just get out of there as much as possible. Going in for just rockets alone.
Whoa.
Oh my god.
This is just annihilation right now. Like, Cooler just getting wrecked. Oh, if he can hit another rail, actually, he's looking pretty good, but he doesn't have much in the way of weapons. Misses one. That would have put Cooler down to 1 HP, and there's the drop. So few weapons. There's the dual-wielder LG. Oh, the rail! It hits! That was it right there. It was over. It was GG. There's the trophy for Cooler. Is this not over yet?
He needs more.
LG! Oh, kill. Where's the spawn? He needs to make sure he has some level of safety. There's no big items for a while. He uses the piercing sight immediately so he can figure out how to keep himself safe.
The problem is, Cooler has a rail. I fear for K1LLSEN. I really do fear for K1LLSEN here.
There's the light. He's going to go for the hourglasses, then up for the mega health. This is not done yet. Oh, that's just sick.
No. No armor. Okay, he's got 1 light armor, so he's still in the fight. But just like that, Cooler, his dire orb is now available. Doesn't know he's down there near light armor though, so fortunately he's going to live to fight another day. But Cooler definitely heard that jump pad.
Yeah, he knows. He's swinging in and out of action. No,
this could be the tournament fight right here.
Ooh.
K1LLSEN's only got 1 rail.
He is a hero. I need to get a picture.
K1LLSEN only has.
My mantelpiece.
He's only got 1 rail.
Once a week.
And he's
twice.
So I'm really sorry. I'm struggling with this delay. Okay, now he's hit the rail, and now he's gonna finally go and collect. All right, now he can undo some of this damage here. Piercing sight. It's now used up. Could be the only piercing sight he's gonna have left. Oh no! He's now railable.
They're breaking away. We're getting another kind of stalemate going on over here. And K1LLSEN just needs to like relax a little bit, compose himself. Keep an eye on those rails. Those rails are going to be essential for him. And these hourglasses, like just suddenly, this map just has so few like hourglasses to work with. So every single one is incredibly important, especially for a champion like Visor that relies on those items on the map a lot more because it takes longer for that piercing sight to come up.
Now, because it is 1 champion each, it's going to allow this sort of slow play to take place. Cooler's not going to have the champion advantage anymore. Otherwise, I would have been very, very worried for K1LLSEN. But the fact that K1LLSEN's even been able to bring things back to the way they are in this round is insane. Yeah. Like we were like a split second away from this stream already being over and Cooler being our champion for the season.
I was calling it. I had ready to call it, and then there was just this stupid turnaround. Does he know I'm there? Is he just spamming? Is this just like fun and games? Or he's got a feeling. Oh! Well, he knows now. Oh! A rail right after. He knows there's an advantage. He misses that rail shot. That would be important. Cooler might go for a spam rail through the teleporter. K1LLSEN is wary of that. He's checking
a lot of patience from Cooler.
He doesn't even go to heavy straight away.
The thing is, the patience from Cooler to try and be safe. Oh my word!
Wow. That was dangerous. K1LLSEN can't afford to take that damage first. He backs away, piercing sight. All right, let's put ourselves back into a comfortable spot. And there's a rail. That helps a lot. Now he's got the mega health up. He's in great shape all of a sudden.
In for the rocket jump. What? Super fast speed. I don't even know how he achieved those speeds. K1LLSEN now.
Oh!
In a wonderful position. Oh, God. There. Good God.
He's got to be careful. He's right around the corner. This could be a big, big trap from Cooler. Oh, there's the shove possibilities for a second. But here comes the mega health. K1LLSEN retains position. And he's able to continue control of the major items. There is the heavy up next. He's just going to... He doesn't really need that armor too much. He's just going to get rid of it. Because why not at this point?
This is a highly stressful sudden death.
Yeah.
The fact that this sudden death really determines either tournament victory or just staying in this map alone.
It's got no rails, mate. You've got nothing. You've run out of rail ammunition. And I think Cooler, is he going to have a guess about that? He's got to go for the heavy machine gun, which might be a blessing in disguise for him. But he wants to probably break away from this. There's the mega health. Now time to get out without taking another rail shot. Oh, wow,
Unfortunately,
that
Cooler has run out of rails.
the
Oh,
shot!
no!
It's gonna miss! Rockets for Kilson, it lands and he takes the round. Wow, how does he make that comeback a reality?
Good God. And the thing is, that one dire orb that we saw Cooler go for, it completely disoriented him. Like, the second he reappeared, he had no idea where Kilson actually was. And the one side that hit that one blind spot that was there, Kilson was standing right there.
Well, for Kilson to truly take, like, all the brownie points, everything, and get that photo on my mantelpiece, I mean, I'll do it anyway. He needs to now win the map from that comeback, because that was on the brink of absolute defeat, and this is where you go into, like, next level hero status.
Crazy plays right there. And if Kilson can win this map, it's insane of a turnaround we would see here. But just little issues here and there where, you know, Cooler knew Piercing Sight was available previously and didn't want to go through the teleporter in time. The time it took for him to wait to be content that he was no longer at risk was the time it took Kilson to run to heavy and take it. And it was his insane stack that he built up by Cooler being passive that allowed Kilson to take that fight later. And now he's eating plenty and plenty of rails, in big trouble. He's being chased. Another one. Watch out.
Oh my god. The dual-wheeled rockets that came out, the damage all of a sudden, Kilson was like, I just need to do a little bit of damage, I'll be fine, and he just had nukes flying towards him, right up the bounce pad. He misses the bounce pad rail. Run, boy. Go, go, go. And there's the heavy.
Alright, he's towards heavy, but in and out. Gone in 60 seconds.
Get the rails. There we go. Don't want to run out of rails again. That was almost a nightmare thing to happen. Oh no, he got to hit those rail shots, man. There, the money was. Oh, he's got to switch weapons really, really late. The rocket at the end is pretty decent, but there's way too much health for Cooler. Oh, visor.
Now, we did see Visor be pretty slow paced previously on this map. Kilson, surprised again.
What?
Whoa, what? The trade! The trade! XD!
Oh my god. So we got Kilson now on his Doom. He needs just the one kill. We're almost like in a similar situation to the last round. We're down to the final champions each. Kilson's going to get himself all of the important weapons. He just spotted him over there. Can he get over to the heavy in time? He hits one, but he's weak. He can get the berserk out if he wants to, but there's an orb! There's the rocket! Another one! He's so weak! Both of the players are! Can he find a rail shot? Is he going to go for the clutch angle? Oh, he hits the shot! Oh my god, Ketchup! We're going to a tiebreaker round! Kilson is playing out of his skin right now to keep himself in the game.
And the thing is, Cooler didn't have a rail. That's why he retreated right there. He understood he didn't have an amazing stack. He didn't have a rail to contest with it. He just tried to get out. And the one slither of an angle Kilson had. My word. That's still tournament point for Cooler. But if Kilson takes this round, it's not the end of the tournament. We have an entire map left.
Okay. I'm not going to jinx anything. I'd love that map, but we'll find out. Because at the moment, it doesn't matter what happens before this map or after. It's just the way in which Kilson comes back in this. If he closes out this round, that is a statement right there. That's a statement of excellence.
I mean, just both of these players hot off a really incredible placing at PGL. You know, both of these players are absolute world-class duelers, and it's only fitting that they bring this in grand finals as close as it is.
I'm just thinking of that last rail that we saw in the last round. Like, Kilson knew that was the round. That was the shot that would count and send him to the tiebreaker round. The focus that would go in there. He's going in for the orb now. All of a sudden, he can't quite find him with the rockets. And Cooler, how the hell did he evade everything there? That is astonishing. So he's going to break away with an advantage at the beginning of round 5. He has Mega now. He's still got plenty of weapons. Kilson did manage to earn the heavy off the spawn. This has gone nuts.
But this is a change that we didn't bring attention to. Cooler has started with Ranger now rather than BJ. The 2 rounds that Kilson's been able to take, Cooler had actually started with BJ both times and wasn't able to accomplish a huge amount. He'd lost his BJ quite quickly. And the rounds that he won, he wasn't doing that. He's now gone back to his start that gave him the previous wins. And go figure, he's now taken the first frag. First champion really does matter at this level of play, and it just looks like BJ hasn't been the one.
Yeah, that's right. But he could still serve as a very useful refrag champion. Oh, again, brilliant rockets. Important damage to Cooler's landing. He's got to try and close this one out, you know. I've been on the K1LLSEN train for the last couple of rounds, but you got to think for Cooler, you just close it at this stage, man. You were on the brink. You were like 15 damage away from winning the Quake Open League. End it. Cool.
Right, he's convinced K1LLSEN nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, K1LLSEN didn't want to pick that up. He was close to getting the heavy, but he knows if he goes for it, he's in a nasty position. And he obviously doesn't have the dire orb where he can kind of like preemptively slip gate away. Orb does get used now, which makes this very interesting for K1LLSEN, as he's going to have piercing sight. And he might be able to get some free damage. He finds a rail. That was without piercing sight. Now he's going to try it again.
There's one.
Oh.
This is very, very, very tense if you're K1LLSEN. That's the big thing is there's not a lot of time left. Like, we've spent so much time of it being incredibly back in this final map, but now we're a minute and a half away from this tournament being over. The ball is now going to be in K1LLSEN's score to make something happen. It's going to be 1 rail each, but with a lower stack, it's not going to be in K1LLSEN's favor, that's for sure. And now, almost at that 1 minute warning. So much stack on Cooler, who now repositions. Dangerous times. Okay, a good rocket. Enough to just knock K1LLSEN so far away. Uh-oh, one more.
Another rail.
Oh, he's going in.
A huge advantage if he lands it. K1LLSEN goes away to lower banana. Does he find a light armor over there? There's not much for him to grab.
Cooler.
Hasn't even spawned yet.
He's surely he's dead. Oh, and he gets the final nail in the coffin. That's gonna be, I would almost say that's gonna be enough, man. He has 2 more champions left to go, and he has so much work to do. He's down to Ranger. He can maneuver around however he wants.
Yeah, but there can't be another twist in this tail. It's got to be closed out. With 35 seconds to go, K1LLSEN was on the brink of hero status. He's done some pretty good damage, but he's got to be on the chase. There's 100 roughly. Here's the mega being picked up. I think K1LLSEN would have heard approximately where Cooler was at, and he's going to drop down. He fakes the jump out. The orb, he doesn't go through it, but he's got to keep on going. K1LLSEN
it's impossible
can't
now.
stop.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think
10
so.
seconds
Cooler,
down.
he's run around the corner.
Over.
And that's it. Ketchup.
There we have it.
Almost had a mind-blowing comeback. But in the end, Cooler is our champion, and he wins, well, with a sigh of relief, probably, but with some fantastic play in this best of 5.
I think that could have been one of the most legendary comebacks we've seen in Quake Champions. It really could have been, but at the end of the day, that combination of starting champion, the Ranger pick instead of BJ at the very beginning, it gave a huge amount of burst ability, first of all, for Cooler in that round. But the big thing was the maneuverability. Way harder to pin down. And the second he got that first champion and was able to start playing Runaway again, I will take a Dire Orb over a dual wield any day. Like, I think that initial change made a huge amount of difference in that final round. But hats off to K1LLSEN, man. He brought it all the way, and we could have very easily be talking about going into a final map right now. Cooler's just the man of the hour, and he is going to be the champion of the Quake Open League for this season.
Oh man, it was just great, right? The amount of fantastic games that we got today as well. We got a really stunning grand final. I know K1LLSEN's obviously going to be gutted that he couldn't bring it to the last map, but he can rest easy knowing that he showed good shape. But that means that he's lost to him like he did in PGL. So I'm sure he has put the marker on Cooler. It's like, right, I'm out to get you now because I don't want to lose to you anymore. Some really, really sick plays over here. Holy crap. This was just the mind-blowing one where, like, from the brink of defeat.
I need to see what it like. Yeah, that was the one from his angle. I was watching that one from Cooler's point of view, where his back was turned. He couldn't even see
really?
the rail angle from that point because I think he was convinced he was just going to get away, but obviously he couldn't. But that's the tournament done, man. I think that was a insane last map. I don't even know if I have a final map in me, to be honest. This has been a long day and a lot of games, but yeah, Cooler's going to be the one bringing it through and showing us the style that we all know Cooler is famous for. We go from PGL second place to Quake Open League, the first Duel Online tournament these guys have done. Cooler straight into first place. He's feeling good, and this has been a wild month for him for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We can take a look at the brackets to see what the story is that has played out here for Season 6 on EU Elite. Here I think we got it all tied up there. And yeah, that is the 3-1 for Cooler right at the end, as you can see them going through that whole list. All those phenomenal players. And that's going to lead me on to saying another thing. The sign-ups and check-ins for Quake Open League Season 7 are about to close, guys. So make sure you head on over to the Quake Open League Discord or find it through quakeopenleague.com. Otherwise, ask myself or Jay Mooney in Twitch chat, or I'm sure Tailwhipper as well would be more than happy to give you some directions, or sort of Flynn there. And we'll let you know exactly how to get yourself signed up in there in case you have any queries at all. Games are going to be starting on Wednesday, guys, and it's going to go through till early parts of November, where we will have our next Quake Open League finals. But otherwise, we're pretty much at the end of the road. Catch up. It is amazing having you on, as always. I'm gutted I didn't cast a view at PGL, but I'm relieved that you're not Jason. I mean, have you got any final words for us?
I had a good time. I had a really good time. I'm really loving this. I'm going to try and position myself just perfectly. That is the wrong character, though, Jahar. That is the wrong character. It's not one of my boys. It's not one of my boys. But thanks for bringing me back. I had a really good time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show as always. Congrats to Cooler. And, you know, best of luck in the next Open League. And that's all there is to it. It's always nice to be a part of it. I miss Quake when I'm not doing a show. It's a sick game.
Well, cheers for that, and cheers, Jahar. Why don't I ever get a hat? That sounds just good. I want a hat.
We need to find a hat. That's the objective for the next one. Give him a PNG of a Ranger.
You know what?
Hat.
Actually, I'm worried of the type of hat they'll find for me. So, what I'll do, guys, I'll thank all the players. Thank you again, Catch Up. Thank you, Jahar, and Frank as well for doing the replays for us. I really enjoyed today's show, and also Machiavelli as well for getting involved in the casting. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for participating. We'll be back soon. Have a good one and take care.